I made a conscious decision not to tell anyone in my life. Now I tell people, don't tell anyone your idea until you have invested enough of yourself in it that you are not going to turn back. When a person has an idea at that conception moment, it is the most vulnerable. One negative comment could knock you off course. Courage is doing something despite the fear, and I've worked hard on being a courageous person. I think very early on in life we all learn what we're good at and what we're not good at, and we stay where it's safe. Ideas, even million-dollar ones, are most vulnerable in their infancy. Don't share them with too many people. However, don't hide your plan from people who can help you move it forward. Money is fun to make, fun to spend, and fun to give away. My revenue was $4 million my first year in business, off of one $20 item. When I was 7, I came up with the idea of charm socks. My mom would take me to buy bags of plastic charms, we would sew them on frilly white socks, and I sold them at school. You've got to embrace what you don't know. Don't be intimidated by what you don't know. That can be your greatest strength and ensure that you do things differently from everyone else. Everything in our society is so purposeful. If somebody can do something 80% as good as you think you would have done it yourself, then you've got to let it go. Most of the reason we don't do things is because we're afraid to fail. I just made a decision one day that I was not going to do things in my life because of fear. There is a hidden blessing in the most traumatic things we go through in our lives. My brain always goes to, where is the hidden blessing? What is my gift? Failure is not attached to outcome, but in not trying. This way, it is about answering to yourself. I didn't want women to walk out of the dressing rooms feeling depressed and wanting a cocktail. I pledge to invest in women because I believe it offers one of the greatest returns on investment. I am committed to the belief that we would all be in a much better place if half the human race were empowered to prosper, invent, be educated, start their own businesses, run for office, essentially be given the chance to soar. If we can put a man on the moon, we can make pantyhose comfortable. Most of us want to tell our co-workers or friends, or husbands, or wives, our ideas. For what reason? We want validation. But I feel ideas are most vulnerable in their infancy. Out of love and concern, friends and family give all the reasons or objections on why you shouldn't do it. I didn't want to risk that. Perseverance is the key to starting a successful business. We don't have the luxury of time. We spend more because of how we live, but it's important to be with our family and friends. When I'm bored or tired of being blonde, I'll throw on a wig. It's a lot less of a permanent way to change your look, and I have about 10, all different colors, shapes, bobs, long hair, short, feathered. Embrace what you don't know, especially in the beginning, because what you don't know can become your greatest asset. it ensures that you will absolutely be doing things different from everybody else. Failure to me became not trying versus not succeeding. I feel like money makes you more of who you already are. I started thinking about joy. Everything in our society is so purposeful. Let's bring joy back to the experience. I'd never worked in fashion or retail. I just needed an undergarment that didn't exist. Instead of failure being the outcome, failure became not trying. And it forced me at a young age to want to push myself so much further out of my comfort zone. My advice for an entrepreneur just starting out is to differentiate yourself. Why are you different? What's important about you? Why does the customer need you? The smartest thing I ever did was to hire my weakness. What I most identify with is effortless fashion, looking as if someone's not put a lot of effort into their look. When something I can't control happens, I ask myself, where is the hidden gift? Where is the positive in this? Ensure that you do things differently from everyone else. Failures are life's way of nudging you and letting you know you are off course. Trying new things and not being afraid to fail along the way are more important than what you learn in school. I think failure is nothing more than life's way of nudging you that you are off course. My attitude to failure is not attached to outcome, but in not trying. It is liberating. Most people attach failure to something not working out or how people perceive you. This way, it is about answering to yourself. It's important to be willing to make mistakes. The worst thing that can happen is you become memorable. What you don't know can be your greatest asset. Every time I went on stage I was so terrified I almost threw up. Having a mental snapshot of where you are going, and what you are moving toward is incredibly powerful. I grew up in a house where my father encouraged my brother and me to fail. I specifically remember coming home and saying, "Dad, I tried out for this or that and I was horrible," and he would high-five me and say, "Way to go." I think my story says that, when women are given the chance and the opportunity, that we can achieve a lot. We deliver. The thought of my mortality, I think about it a lot. I find it motivating. It can be any time that your number's up. Whatever you can think, you can create, just have a very clear vision. Once you have your snapshot, work on filling in the blanks to get to that place. With every obstacle that has happened to me in my life, my brain immediately says, where is the hidden blessing? In starting a business and growing a business. Every day is learning how to manage obstacles.